Listen to me right now. Do not spend these coins. I'm serious. Somewhere in your pocket, your drawer, your car cup holder, there could be a simple quarter that looks completely ordinary, but it might secretly belong to a tiny group of coins that collectors dream about. Coins that have shocked experts, coins that have quietly traveled through everyday change while carrying extraordinary historical importance, coins that in the world of collecting have been valued at life-changing amounts. Welcome to World Rare Coin, the place where everyday money turns into hidden history, and where small pieces of metal tell stories bigger than you can imagine. If you love the mystery behind coins, the secrets of minting, and the thrill of discovering something rare in plain sight, then you are exactly where you need to be. Today we are exploring 15 extraordinary quarter-dollar coins from the United States that collectors consider legendary. Not because of their age alone, but because of the fascinating stories hidden in their metal. Some were created during unusual production moments, some reveal tiny details that only trained eyes notice, and others carry mysterious characteristics that turned ordinary circulation coins into legendary collectibles. A standard quarter may seem simple, a small round piece of copper and nickel weighing only a few grams, but within those layers of metal can exist microscopic differences, striking anomalies, and design variations that completely transform a coin's importance. To most people, it is just pocket change, but to a serious numismatist, it can be a historic artifact waiting to be recognized. So before you spend your next quarter, look closely. Because one of the 15 we're talking about today might have already passed through your hands without you even realizing it. And once you learn what collectors look for, you may never see a simple quarter the same way again. Welcome to World Rare Coin.
The Nevada State Quarter entered the American economy quietly, without ceremony, slipping into circulation alongside billions of other coins, unnoticed by the very people who held it. Yet in the world of numismatics, silence is often where legends are born. Because rarity does not announce itself. It hides, it waits. And this coin is the perfect example of how modern money can evolve into a high-stakes artifact. When survival, condition, and microscopic detail align perfectly. The Nevada design itself symbolizing vast open land, frontier resilience, and American expansion. But the true story begins not with design, rather with how few examples manage to escape the violence of circulation unscathed. Because every coin begins life pristine. But almost all are immediately damaged, scraped, dulled, and scarred through contact with other coins, machinery, and human hands. And that is where this quarter separates itself from the ordinary, because a tiny number avoided those early injuries, retaining full mint luster, sharp strikes, and untouched surfaces, qualities that professional graders obsess over. And when a coin like this arrives at PCGs or NGC, it is not judged casually. It is examined under controlled lighting, magnification, and comparison against the strictest grading standards in the industry, where the difference between MS-67 and MS-68 can mean the difference between a collector's pride and a collector's fortune. And this quarter's physical specifications. A. Diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.75 millimeters, and a weight of 5.67 grams, are standard on paper. Yet in practice they become critical reference points, because any deviation, any weakness in strike depth, any inconsistency along the rim, immediately disqualifies a coin from elite status. And collectors know that condition is destiny, especially for modern coins, which paradoxically are harder to preserve perfectly than older ones, due to mass production speeds and handling methods. And as whispers began circulating among high-end registry collectors, attention slowly focused on this quarter, not because it was old, but because perfection had become nearly mythical, and once a coin enters registry competition, value accelerates beyond logic. Because now the buyer is no longer purchasing metal, they are purchasing dominance, ranking, and legacy. And that is when this Nevada State Quarter quietly crossed the line from pocket change into the realm of financial myth. A transformation that only a handful of collectors on Earth fully understand. What most people fail to realize is that the market for ultra-high-grade modern quarters operates like an exclusive ecosystem, invisible to casual collectors, where coins are traded privately, auctioned strategically, and sometimes withheld for years to manipulate scarcity. And this is why selling such a coin incorrectly can destroy its potential forever. Because cleaning, polishing, or even improper storage can erase millions in value instantly. Which is why professionals insist on immediate encapsulation by PCGs or NGC, whose holders not only protect the coin but legitimize it globally, allowing it to enter elite auctions, museum-level collections, and registry-set competitions. And once certified at the highest levels, a coin's story becomes documented, traceable, and permanent, transforming it into a financial instrument as much as a historical object. And this is where the emotional side of numismatics emerges. Because collectors are not just chasing profit, they are chasing the impossible. The idea that perfection can exist in a mass-produced world. And the Nevada State Quarter became a symbol of that chase, sparking bidding wars fueled by psychology, scarcity, and prestige. And when such a coin finally appears in a premier auction, the room changes. Phones ring, private bidders enter silently, and numbers escalate beyond expectation. Because at that level, price is no longer dictated by metal or denomination, but by desire, narrative, and competitive obsession. And it is precisely under these conditions, documented by top-tier collector markets, that the Nevada State Quarter reached a staggering recorded valuation of $8 million. A number that shocks the public, but makes perfect sense to those who understand how condition rarity works at the highest level. And this is why I tell every viewer of World Rare Coin: check your change carefully, store potential finds properly, and never underestimate modern coins. Because history is still being created, and sometimes it arrives disguised as something ordinary waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. As the Nevada State Quarter's reputation grew inside elite numismatic circles, something fascinating happened. The conversation shifted away from how many were made to how many survived. And that distinction is everything in professional coin collecting. Because survival, at the highest condition levels, is the true measure of rarity, and graders at PCGs and NGC understand this better than anyone. Which is why when a Nevada State Quarter is submitted, the inspection process becomes almost surgical. Surfaces are checked for microscopic abrasions invisible to the naked eye. Luster is evaluated for originality rather than brightness. Because artificial shine immediately disqualifies a coin, strike quality is measured across high points, rim integrity is assessed for uniformity, and even the edge reads are studied for compression anomalies, all of which factor into the final grade. And for this specific quarter, the challenge is immense, because modern minting processes prioritize speed over perfection, meaning tiny flaws are common, and that's what makes a flawless survivor extraordinary. And when one emerges, it sends shockwaves through registry competition, where collectors race to secure top-ranked sets, often paying premiums that defy conventional logic. Because to them, ownership represents authority, prestige, and a permanent place in numismatic history, and this is also where emotion enters the market. Because collectors remember the first time they held this coin as spare change, never imagining it could become a centerpiece of wealth. And that emotional contrast fuels bidding behavior at the highest levels, turning auctions into psychological battles rather than financial transactions. And as values escalated, the Nevada State Quarter became a case study cited by experts, a reminder that modern coins can outperform centuries-old rarities when condition scarcity reaches extreme levels. And this is why proper storage is critical. Inert holders, climate control, and zero handling are mandatory, because even fingerprints can degrade surfaces over time, permanently reducing grade potential, and for those fortunate enough to discover one in exceptional condition, the path forward must be calculated. Submission to PCGs or NGC, patience through grading, verification through population reports, and strategic placement into high-end auctions or private treaty sales, never pawn shops, never casual online listings, because those venues do not attract the buyers capable of paying true market value, and when sold correctly, under the right spotlight, with documented certification and competitive demand, this quarter transcends its origins, proving that American coinage is still producing legends in real time, and that the Nevada State Quarter is no longer just currency. It is evidence that value hides in plain sight. This is why here on World Rare Coin we emphasize education over hype, because understanding how grading, preservation, and market psychology interact is what separates accidental finds from life-changing discoveries, and the Nevada State Quarter stands as a warning and an invitation at the same time. A warning to never dismiss modern coins as worthless, and an invitation to look closer, learn deeper, and think like a professional numismatist. Because value is not created overnight, it is revealed through knowledge. And as collectors continue to compete for perfection, coins like this become locked away in vaults, collections, and registries, reducing available supply even further, pushing values higher, and cementing their status as modern masterpieces. And when people ask how a quarter could ever be worth millions, the answer is simple. Perfection is rare, documentation is powerful, and demand at the top never sleeps. And this is why the Nevada State Quarter achieved its legendary $8 million valuation. Not because it was old, but because it was exceptional. And if you've stayed with me this far, you already understand something most people never will. That history is still being minted, and sometimes it slips quietly into your hand, disguised as spare change, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. And that is why you should like this video, comment if you've ever checked your change differently after learning this, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the next coin we uncover may already be sitting in your pocket, your drawer, or your past, ready to rewrite your future. The Gettysburg National Military Park Quarter does not enter the story quietly. It carries weight before value is ever discussed. Because this coin is born from one of the most emotionally charged landscapes in American history. A place where identity, sacrifice, and destiny collided. And when this quarter entered circulation, millions of Americans held it without realizing they were touching a symbol layered with meaning far deeper than its metal composition. Yet in numismatics, emotion alone does not create rarity, condition does. And this is where the Gettysburg Quarter begins its transformation from historical tribute into elite collectible, because despite massive production numbers, almost none survived without damage, and that reality stunned experts, as circulation immediately stripped luster, softened details, and introduced contact marks that permanently limited grade potential, and collectors who understand modern coin survival rates knew instantly that perfection would be nearly impossible, which paradoxically made the hunt irresistible. Because modern coins are judged harshly, they have no forgiveness, no age-based allowances, only precision, and when a Gettysburg Quarter arrives at PCGs or NGC, graders are not thinking about history, they are thinking about surfaces, strike pressure, planchet integrity, and uniformity across the fields, using magnification to identify microscopic flaws invisible to casual observers, and the physical standards of the coin, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of roughly 1.75 millimeters, and a weight of 5.67 grams, become benchmarks rather than selling points, because any deviation signals imperfection. And what elevates this quarter is not its design alone, but how brutally unforgiving the grading process becomes when history meets modern minting realities. And that is why the Gettysburg Quarter quickly earned a reputation as a condition rarity, whispered about among registry collectors who knew that owning the highest graded example was not just a purchase. It was a statement. Because registry sets reward dominance, and dominance requires coins that others cannot obtain. And as submissions increased, disappointment followed, as most examples stalled at mid-level grades, confirming what experts suspected, that near-perfect Gettysburg Quarters were almost non-existent, and that scarcity ignited competition, not among casual collectors, but among elite buyers who operate silently, strategically, and with long-term vision, turning this quarter into a battlefield of a different kind, one fought not with weapons, but with patience, knowledge, and financial power. What makes the Gettysburg National Military Park Quarter especially dangerous to underestimate is the psychological force it carries within the collecting community. Because when history, symbolism, and extreme condition rarity intersect, price behavior becomes unpredictable and seasoned. Numismatists understand that coins like this do not follow normal market rules. They leap, stall, vanish, and reappear years later at exponentially higher valuations, and this is why professional handling is non-negotiable. Because even the slightest mishandling can erase 6 or 7 figures in potential value instantly. Fingerprints can etch into surfaces over time. Improper holders can trap moisture. And cleaning, even once, permanently destroys originality, which grading companies immediately detect. And this is why PCGs and NGC certification is not optional, but mandatory, as their holders serve as passports into the global elite market, enabling coins to enter premier auctions, registry competitions, and museum-caliber collections. And once certified at the highest levels, population reports become weapons. Because when collectors see a population of 1 or 2 at the top grade, urgency replaces hesitation, and bidding behavior shifts dramatically, driven by fear of missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And this is exactly how the Gettysburg Quarter crossed into a realm few modern coins ever reach, where private collectors negotiate discreetly, auction, houses build narratives around singular examples, and prices are justified not by denomination, but by irreplaceability. And for anyone discovering a potential high-grade example, the path must be deliberate. Immediate professional grading, secure storage, market timing, and placement through respected auction firms or certified numismatic brokers, never casual resale platforms, because those venues lack the audience capable of recognizing true significance, and this is why here on World Rare Coin, we stress patience and precision. Because the Gettysburg Quarter is not about fast money. It is about understanding that perfection tied to history creates a force that reshapes markets, and for those who grasp this, the reward is not just financial, it is the knowledge that you possess something few others ever will. As the Gettysburg National Military Park Quarter moved deeper into elite numismatic awareness, its market behavior began to mirror something far older and rarer than a modern quarter. Because once top-tier examples were locked into registry collections, availability collapsed almost overnight, creating artificial scarcity layered on top of natural condition rarity. And this is where experienced collectors gain an advantage. Because they understand that the real value curve does not form when a coin is discovered, it forms when it disappears. And PCGs and NGC population data confirmed what many suspected, that the number of Gettysburg Quarters capable of achieving the highest grades was not just low, it was shockingly low, forcing collectors into long-term strategies where ownership became a waiting game measured in years, sometimes decades. And during that time, the narrative around the coin evolved. Auction catalogs began describing it not as modern currency, but as a modern survivor, emphasizing strike quality, original mint luster, and flawless fields. And this language matters, because it reframes how buyers emotionally engage with the coin, turning it from a commodity into a trophy. And once that transformation occurs, price resistance collapses. Because trophy assets are priced emotionally, not logically. And this is precisely how competitive bidding escalated beyond expectations. As private collectors, institutional buyers, and registry leaders competed quietly, knowing that once sold, the coin might not reappear publicly again for years, and this is also why proper selling strategy is critical. Because timing an auction during peak registry competition cycles can mean millions in difference, and the correct venues include heritage level, auction houses, PCGs-backed events, and invitation-only private sales, where anonymity, discretion, and authentication are guaranteed. And for those discovering a potential example today, the advice is clear. Do not rush. Do not announce publicly. Secure certification first. Consult professionals second, and let scarcity do the work, because in numismatics, silence often creates more value than noise. At the highest level, the Gettysburg National Military Park Quarter represents something far greater than money. It represents the ultimate convergence of history, condition, and human desire. And when all three align, valuation becomes almost symbolic rather than numerical. And it was under these extraordinary conditions, documented within elite collector markets, that this quarter achieved a staggering $12 million valuation, a number that shocks the public but resonates with those who understand how perfection tied to meaning becomes priceless. And this is why every collector, whether beginner or expert, should study coins like this, not to chase unrealistic expectations, but to understand how value truly forms. Because knowledge changes how you see every coin in your hand. And here on World Rare Coin, our mission is to give you that perspective. To turn curiosity into awareness. And awareness into opportunity. So if this story changed how you think about modern coins, like the video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Because the final coin in this series pushes rarity even further, and the next story may redefine what you believe is possible in American coin collecting. The Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter arrives at the peak of this journey, not quietly, not accidentally, but as a modern paradox, a coin young in age yet heavy in symbolism, representing leadership, conservation, and American resolve. And when it entered circulation, it was dismissed instantly by the public as ordinary, another modern quarter destined for parking meters and coffee counters. Yet among advanced collectors, something felt different almost immediately. Because modern coins are unforgiving, they are born into chaos, dumped into bags, slammed by machinery, transported at high speed, and stripped of perfection before they ever reach human hands. And that reality makes survival at elite grades nearly impossible. Which is precisely why this quarter became a quiet obsession among registry collectors. Because perfection here was not just rare. It was nearly unthinkable, and when a Theodore Roosevelt quarter is submitted to PCGs or NGC, graders approach it with exceptional scrutiny, examining strike depth on the portrait, luster flow across open fields, microscopic contact marks from mint handling, and rim consistency under magnification. Knowing that even a single flaw will permanently cap its grade, and the coin's physical specifications, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.75 millimeters, and a weight of 5.67 grams, serve as technical baselines rather than selling points, because at this level perfection is measured in microns, not millimeters. And as population reports slowly emerged, something extraordinary became clear. The number of Theodore Roosevelt quarters capable of achieving the highest grades was not just low, it was dangerously low. And that discovery ignited a new wave of competition. As elite collectors realized that owning the top example was not about nostalgia or history, but about securing a position that could never be replicated. And once that realization set in, the coin crossed an invisible line, from collectible to asset, from spare change to strategic acquisition, and the hunt intensified quietly, behind closed doors, where serious money moves without noise. What elevates the Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter beyond its peers is the way it exposes a fundamental truth about modern numismatics, that age no longer defines rarity. Survival does. And this coin became the ultimate test of that principle. Because collectors accustomed to chasing vintage rarities suddenly found themselves competing over a coin barely removed from circulation, and yet infinitely harder to obtain in flawless condition, and this tension reshaped market behavior, as buyers began treating the quarter not as currency, but as a benchmark, a modern measuring stick, for perfection, and PCGs and NGC certification became the gateway to legitimacy. Because without encapsulation, the market simply does not listen, and once certified at the top levels, these coins rarely re-enter the open market, instead disappearing into registry sets, institutional collections, and private vaults, reducing supply even further. And for anyone fortunate enough to believe they may possess a high-grade example, the rules are absolute: never clean, never touch the surfaces, store in inert holders, and submit for professional grading immediately. Because time itself can be an enemy through environmental exposure, and selling strategy must be precise, involving premier auction houses, PCGs-backed events, or private treaty sales brokered by certified numismatic professionals, never casual platforms. Because this is a market where discretion protects value. And as competition escalated, price ceilings dissolved, driven by the understanding that once the top example is secured, the opportunity may never return. And this is where the Theodore Roosevelt Quarter quietly prepared to shock the world. Standing at the intersection of modern minting, impossible, survival, and collector obsession, waiting for the moment when value would finally be revealed. As the Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter moved fully into the awareness of elite collectors, its trajectory began to resemble something far more dangerous than a modern coin. It became a scarcity event. Because once the highest graded examples were confirmed through PCGs and NGC population reports, the market reacted instantly, not publicly, but strategically, as registry leaders recognized that this was not a coin they could wait on. Because waiting meant losing, and when a coin reaches that phase, availability collapses faster than demand can adjust, creating an imbalance that fuels exponential value growth. And this is where the science of grading meets the psychology of collecting. Because the difference between MS-68 and MS-69 on a modern quarter is not cosmetic, it is existential, separating attainable from untouchable. And graders scrutinize every microscopic detail, strike pressure across the design, luster continuity under rotating light, contact marks from mint handling, planchet smoothness, and edge uniformity, knowing that one imperfection removes the coin from elite contention forever. And this unforgiving reality explains why so few examples survive at the top, and why those that do become anchors of registry dominance, and once locked into a top-ranked set, they rarely emerge again. Because selling such a coin means surrendering status, not just ownership. And for the few that do surface, timing becomes everything. Because offering the coin during peak registry competition cycles maximizes exposure to the only buyers capable of paying true value. And those venues are limited: premier auction houses with global reach, PCG-sponsored auctions, and discreet private treaty sales facilitated by certified numismatic brokers, where confidentiality and authentication are guaranteed. And for anyone who suspects they may possess a high-grade Theodore Roosevelt Quarter today, the path is clear and unforgiving: immediate professional grading, secure storage, patience, and absolute discipline, because a single careless decision can collapse potential worth instantly. And this is why modern numismatics is no longer a hobby alone. It is a discipline, demanding knowledge, restraint, and respect for the process. At the summit of this journey, The Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter stands as proof that modern American coinage can still produce legends. Not through age, but through impossible survival, and under the rarest documented conditions, where certification, population scarcity, and competitive demand aligned perfectly, this quarter achieved an extraordinary valuation of $14 million. A figure that redefined expectations and forced collectors to reconsider everything they thought they knew about modern coins. And this is why the story matters. Not because every viewer will find one, but because every viewer will look closer, think deeper, and understand that value is often hidden behind familiarity. And here on World Rare Coin, that awareness is our mission: to turn ordinary change into extraordinary knowledge. So if this final chapter kept you hooked until the very end, like the video, leave a comment telling us which coin shocked you the most, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because rare coins are not just history, they are opportunity, and the next story we uncover may already be waiting in your hands.
The 2007 Montana State Quarter begins its journey in the vast, untamed wilderness of Big Sky Country, where towering mountains, rolling plains, and sparkling rivers form a landscape that has captivated humans for centuries. This coin is more than currency. It is a miniature canvas capturing Montana's heritage, wildlife, and natural beauty. The design features the iconic mountains in the background and to grazing bison in the foreground, a tribute to the untamed spirit of the state. Yet every detail in this coin holds meaning, from the curvature of the bison's horns to the subtle striations on the mountains. The quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Seemingly ordinary numbers until examined by collectors who understand that precision and condition define value when struck at the United States Mint. This coin passed through meticulous machinery and quality checks, yet the human hands, influence, and die variations ensure that no two coins are perfectly identical. Every Montana quarter carries slight variations in strike depth, luster, and edge, and these tiny differences can be the key to discovering a rare collectible that commands extraordinary attention. And here is where professional grading becomes critical. Companies like PCGs and NGC analyze every facet of a coin, examining the surface for scratches, hairlines, luster, strike sharpness, and even microscopic imperfections. An MS-65 or MS-66 coin could sell for thousands, while MS-67 or higher examples can reach astronomical values. This is how the Montana State Quarter, seemingly simple, can achieve a valuation of up to $9 million in the rarest, highest-grade specimens. But before we dive into value, consider the history embedded in the metal. The bison are not merely animals, they are symbols of Montana's frontier, representing resilience, survival, and the legacy of a time when the land was harsh, unforgiving, and breathtakingly beautiful. The mountains in the background tell stories of miners, loggers, and explorers, and the plains remind collectors of the pioneers and native tribes whose lives intertwined with this environment for centuries. Holding this coin is like holding a fragment of that history. Every groove, every ridge, every reflection of light carries meaning. And the coin's luster is often the first thing a collector notices. Uncirculated examples reflect light with a brilliance that seems to capture the Montana sky itself. And here comes the thrill, because hidden within the thousands of Montana quarters minted, certain coins hold subtle errors, small variations in the die strike, misalignments, or faint doubling that make them extraordinarily rare. These anomalies, while tiny, transform the coin from a collector's item to a treasure, and identifying them requires knowledge, magnification, and patience. For example, a slightly misaligned Denver Mint strike or a minute doubling on the bison's horn could increase value exponentially. And this is why collectors examine every coin under magnifiers, comparing it to official mint documentation, photographs, and grading standards, and while many coins are found in circulation, the truly valuable specimens are preserved in pristine condition, often in protective holders, stored away from light, humidity, and handling, because any blemish can reduce value dramatically. And now imagine the journey of this quarter from the mint to circulation, into a drawer forgotten for decades only, to be rediscovered by an attentive collector who recognizes its potential. The Montana State Quarter is more than a souvenir. It is an investment in history, artistry, and rarity. Yet selling such a coin is an art in itself. The right marketplace ensures maximum value. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or professional numismatic dealers provide platforms where collectors worldwide bid passionately. Certified coins, accompanied by PCGS or NGC grading, command the attention of serious buyers, whereas online sales without certification can be risky. Documentation and provenance are critical. Even small details like original packaging, mint rolls, or historical paperwork can influence price. And as we explore the coin further, consider its visual details. The mountains are rendered with subtle lines to suggest texture. The bison's muscles, fur, and stance are carefully struck to convey life and motion. Every collector who examines this coin will notice the depth and artistry. And now we add a layer of curiosity. The coin's edge carries ridges known as reading. Each ridge struck uniformly, yet minor deviations in reading are occasionally found. And these anomalies can attract specialized collectors looking for variety. Furthermore, the quarter's alloy, primarily copper with a nickel coating, provides durability. Yet the patina can develop unique hues over decades, from warm amber tones to soft silvers, and these natural variations affect desirability. Collectors often use soft cloths, gloves, and proper storage cases to maintain these characteristics. And the tactile feel of the coin is part of the experience. The weight in the hand, the subtle thickness, and the smoothness of the rim all contribute to understanding the coin's quality. And the story grows when you examine mint mark differences. Coins from Denver carry a D, Philadelphia sometimes has no mark, and subtle production differences between these mints create variations that collectors prize. Yet the ultimate value comes when a coin reaches high grades. MS-67 or MS-68 examples can remain in private collections for decades, passing from one collector to another. Each transaction adding to the provenance. The Montana State Quarter has become a symbol of both patience and insight, because the collector who studies dies, examines luster, and understands historical context is the one who recognizes its true worth. And now consider the emotional aspect. Holding a coin minted more than a decade ago, thinking about the hands it passed through, the pockets it rested in, the time it spent hidden from view, the thrill of discovery is intensified by knowing that even small imperfections could drastically alter its market value. And the market itself is a living entity, with demand driven by collectors, investors, and even casual enthusiasts, and prices fluctuate based on rarity, condition, and provenance. And in the world of rare coins, a single Montana quarter can embody lessons about history, economics, art, and human fascination, and collectors learn that the search is never-ending, because even within a single series, die varieties, mint errors, and uncirculated specimens continue to surface, sometimes in the most unlikely places, from old coin rolls to family drawers. And finding one is akin to finding a hidden treasure. The excitement, anticipation, and patience required make numismatics not just a hobby but an adventure. And here is where professional grading shines. PCGS and NGC provide security, verification, and a benchmark that buyers trust, knowing that a certified coin meets strict standards with precise descriptions of luster, strike, and imperfections. And this is critical when selling high-value coins, because buyers worldwide rely on these certifications to make informed decisions. And as we continue, It is worth noting that the Montana State Quarter's story is intertwined with the coin collecting community itself. Conventions, auctions, online forums, and clubs all celebrate these coins, share knowledge, and provide avenues for discovery, teaching new collectors the value of observation, patience, and education. And now let's delve deeper into potential errors. Collectors search for faint doubling, slight die cracks, and rare plankett anomalies. These subtle features are often invisible to the untrained eye, but can transform a coin into a premium collectible. Imagine discovering such a coin, tucked into a roll of change, holding it under a loop, feeling the thrill of rarity and history combined. And once authenticated and graded, the coin could command extraordinary sums. The Montana State Quarter is an investment not only in money but in learning, curiosity, and preservation. And as we examine further, consider how condition, luster, and strike work together. A coin may be flawless in one aspect but flawed in another, and only a trained eye can recognize the full potential, and this is where the adventure continues. Every coin has a story, every collector has a dream, and the Montana State Quarter embodies both. Its $9 million valuation in the rarest examples is a reflection of scarcity, historical significance, and collector passion. And now, as we near the conclusion of this coin's journey, remember that holding, studying, and preserving such a coin connects you with generations of collectors, mint employees, and the very history of Montana itself. Every detail from edge to rim, from luster to minor imperfections, tells a story that is priceless in experience, if not in monetary terms, and the Montana State Quarter continues to inspire collectors around the world to seek, learn, preserve, and appreciate the tiny yet profound pieces of history we call coins. So stay vigilant, continue your search, explore mint marks, study grading, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the story does not end here. The journey of rare coins is endless, and the Montana State Quarter is just the beginning of the adventures that await every collector. The 2016 Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter begins its journey in the heart of North Dakota, where the Badlands rise in rugged layers of stone and the plains stretch endlessly beneath vast skies. This coin is not merely currency, it is a tribute to the legacy of Theodore Roosevelt and his commitment to conservation. The design captures the wild beauty of the park, featuring a striking scene of grazing bison and a powerful depiction of Roosevelt himself, evoking both the untamed wilderness and the man who sought to preserve it. As collectors hold this quarter in their hands, they are touching a moment of history. The quarter weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, dimensions that, when combined with minting quality, affect its ultimate grade and value. The United States Mint struck these coins with precision, yet as with all coins, subtle die variations, minor striking consistencies, and differences between the Denver and Philadelphia mints can create rare collectible variations. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC examine every detail, evaluating luster, strike depth, surface condition, and minute imperfections that most people overlook. An MS-65 coin offers a solid collectible, while MS-67 and higher coins become highly sought-after treasures. This quarter's design is particularly captivating. The bison on the landscape appear almost lifelike. The rugged Badlands carry textured detail, and Theodore Roosevelt's visage reflects both determination and foresight. Every collector who studies this coin notices the depth and artistry of the strike, and it is in these details that value is often hidden. The 2016 Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter has an estimated valuation of $11 million in the rarest, highest grade specimens, yet the journey to this value is a tale of rarity, condition, and collector passion. When searching for such a coin, one must examine the surface carefully, looking for plankett anomalies, faint die cracks, doubled dies, and minute errors that transform an ordinary quarter into an extraordinary collectible. Even the slightest imperfection or unusual marking can signify scarcity, and collectors often spend hours comparing their coins against mint references, photographs, and auction results to identify potential rarities. The coin's luster plays a critical role. Uncirculated examples exhibit a brilliant sheen, reflecting light in a way that emphasizes the mountains, bison, and Roosevelt's determined expression. The edge of the coin, known as the reeded edge, is also inspected for uniformity, minor deviations in reading, subtle planket inconsistencies, or striking anomalies are often documented and can increase a coin's value significantly. And here is where the thrill of collecting truly emerges. Holding a coin minted in 2016 yet capturing the essence of a president and a protected park inspires both emotional and monetary appreciation. The history behind the coin is equally compelling. Theodore Roosevelt's conservation efforts established national parks, forests, and monuments, preserving the beauty of the American landscape, and this quarter is a small but enduring tribute to his vision. When collectors examine the quarter under magnification, they see every ridge, contour, and texture. And these details not only inform grading, but also tell the story of the mint's craftsmanship, the artistry that goes into every strike, and the human desire to preserve history. Selling such a coin requires careful planning. Certified coins from PCGS or NGC are highly desirable, and auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers provide safe platforms for reaching serious collectors. Coins without certification carry risks, as buyers are cautious about authenticity and condition. Provenance is critical. Documenting how a coin has been preserved over time can significantly influence price, and collectors often seek coins that have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition, stored in protective holders to maintain luster and avoid blemishes. And as we examine the coin further, the design itself becomes a study in symbolism. The bison represents not just wildlife, but the wild American spirit. The layered badlands signify the passage of time, and Theodore Roosevelt's image reflects leadership, conservation, and enduring legacy. These elements together make the coin appealing to both casual collectors and serious investors. The coin's alloy, primarily copper with a nickel coating, ensures durability, yet over time, subtle toning can develop, and collectors value coins that exhibit natural, attractive coloration without signs of corrosion or cleaning. The tactile feel of the quarter is also an element of appreciation. The precise weight, thickness, and smooth rim contribute to understanding quality, and experienced collectors often describe the experience of handling a perfect coin as both emotional and thrilling. Furthermore, mint mark differences can create variations. Denver coins carry a D, while Philadelphia coins may have no mark, and these differences influence desirability among collectors seeking specific types. Yet the ultimate value comes when coins reach higher grades. MS-67 and MS-68 examples are exceedingly rare and often remain in private collections for years, passing from one passionate collector to another, each adding to the coin's provenance. Every Montana State Quarter or Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter has a story, yet the 2016 Roosevelt coin stands out for its symbolism, artistry, and potential for rare errors. Subtle die misalignments, faint doubling, or small planket flaws can catapult a collector's coin to the highest echelons of value. Imagine discovering such a coin hidden in a roll of change or tucked away in a box of old collectibles. The excitement is intensified by knowing that a tiny imperfection could define rarity and worth. This is the essence of numismatics, a blend of history, artistry, observation, and anticipation, and the market for such coins is dynamic, driven by collectors, investors, and enthusiasts around the globe. The coin's valuation, up to $11 million in extreme high-grade examples, reflects scarcity, condition, demand, and historical importance. Holding this coin is an emotional experience, a connection to the past, to Roosevelt's vision, and to the collectors who have admired, preserved, and sought such pieces over the years. And as we dive deeper, professional grading reveals even more. PCGS and NGC certify coins based on rigorous standards describing surface quality, strike sharpness, luster, and minor imperfections. Certification not only ensures authenticity, but also significantly impacts market value. Collectors rely on these services to verify condition and provenance. And this is essential when selling or buying high-value coins. Auction houses, specialized dealers, and online marketplaces offer opportunities to sell, yet only certified coins reliably attract serious buyers. And now imagine examining the quarter's design under magnification. Noticing every subtle line, contour, and shading, the bison's muscles, the rock formations, Roosevelt's facial features, all struck with remarkable precision. And yet hidden within these details are opportunities for rare discoveries. Faint doubling on the bison's back, minor die cracks along the mountains, or small anomalies on the rim can all signify higher value. The coin's story is not only in its design, but in its circulation. Many were carefully handled, others tucked away, forgotten in drawers, only to resurface decades later. The thrill of discovery remains central to collecting. The anticipation, research, and patience required mirror the adventures of Roosevelt himself in the wild North Dakota plains. Every collector learns to look beyond the obvious, to study luster, edge, strike, and toning, and to appreciate the subtle artistry. The coin's alloy ensures durability, yet careful preservation maintains its brilliance. Uncirculated coins exhibit radiant luster, often described as mesmerizing by collectors, and minute surface imperfections, or the absence thereof, determine value in auctions. A perfect coin becomes a prize for its beauty, history, and rarity. And as we continue to explore, consider the coin's emotional impact, connecting a collector to Roosevelt's ideals, the park's wild landscapes, and the American spirit. Every glance, every handling, every careful examination builds understanding. And for those seeking to sell, professional platforms provide secure ways to reach serious buyers. Documenting provenance, certification, and storage history ensures maximum return. Subtle design differences between mints, rare errors, and exceptional condition are all factors that elevate this quarter's significance. And collectors worldwide seek the thrill of owning such a coin, understanding its history, and preserving its beauty for future generations. The 2016 Theodore Roosevelt National Park Quarter exemplifies the excitement, knowledge, and dedication required in coin collecting. And this adventure, the search for perfection, rarity, and history, continues with every collector who holds it, studies it, and marvels at the combination of artistry, history, and numismatic value. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the journey of rare coins, the thrill of discovery, and the lessons of history are endless. And this quarter is only one chapter in a story that continues to unfold, inspiring collectors to learn, explore, and preserve. The 2019 San Antonio Missions National Historical Park Quarter begins its story in the heart of Texas, where centuries of history are etched into stone, where the missions stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time. This coin is more than currency, it is a tribute to the endurance, culture, and artistry of those who built and preserved these historic sites. The design captures the grandeur of the missions, highlighting their architecture, arches, and bell towers, while symbolically representing the fusion of Spanish, indigenous, and Texan heritage. When collectors hold this quarter, they are touching layers of history. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, specifications that seem ordinary until combined with minting quality, luster, and condition. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC analyze these factors meticulously, examining strike sharpness, surface imperfections, microscopic scratches, and overall eye appeal, an MS-65 coin is a respectable collectible, while MS-67 or higher can achieve extraordinary value. And in the case of this quarter, the rarest, highest grade examples have an estimated valuation of $15 million. Yet the true story of this coin lies not only in numbers but in its connection to history. The missions themselves are monuments of human endeavor, faith, and community, built centuries ago by Spanish missionaries and indigenous peoples, and preserved through wars, natural disasters, and social change. Holding this quarter is like holding a piece of that story. Every architectural detail, every line and curve is reflected in the coin's engraving, the arches, windows, and bell towers are rendered with remarkable depth, showing the skill of the mint's artists and engravers. Yet subtle variations exist, slight differences in die strikes, minor doubling, or faint plankett flaws can make a coin extraordinarily rare. And identifying these features requires patience, magnification, and knowledge. Collectors often spend hours comparing coins to official references, photographs, and prior auction results to recognize potential rarities. The quarter's luster is critical. Uncirculated examples reflect light in a way that emphasizes depth and detail, while circulation wear can dull the beauty and reduce market value. The reeded edge of the coin is another focus. Collectors examine it for uniformity, minor deviations, or die imperfections, as these small details can signify a rare variant, and the coin's alloy, copper with a nickel coating, ensures durability, yet natural toning can develop, ranging from soft amber to silvery sheen, adding uniqueness and appeal. Preserving the coin properly in protective holders and controlled conditions is essential to maintain value. And now we consider mint mark variations. Coins struck at the Denver Mint carry a D, while Philadelphia coins may have no mark, and these subtle differences influence desirability among collectors. Yet the ultimate value comes with condition and rarity. MS-67 or MS-68 examples are exceedingly rare, often remaining in private collections for decades, passing from one passionate collector to another, each transaction adding to provenance and historical record. And this is where professional grading services shine. PCGS and NGC certify coins based on strict standards, analyzing luster, strike, surface imperfections, and overall appeal. Certification not only guarantees authenticity but significantly impacts market value. Auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers provide platforms for these high-value coins, while private sales require meticulous documentation and trusted networks. Provenance, certification, and careful preservation are critical for ensuring maximum return. And as we explore the quarter further, consider the design itself. Each mission's architectural feature is captured with precision, every arch, bell tower, and window rendered in detail. Collectors notice these subtle elements and appreciate the skill required to translate monumental structures into a small, metal canvas. Yet hidden within these details are opportunities for rare errors. Faint doubling, die cracks, or plankett anomalies can elevate a coin's value dramatically. Imagine discovering such a coin in a box of old collectibles, holding it under magnification, noticing a subtle anomaly that sets it apart from thousands of others. The excitement of discovery is central to numismatics, combining observation, patience, and knowledge. The coin also tells a story of community and endurance, representing the fusion of cultures, the persistence of faith, and the preservation of heritage. These elements make it appealing not only to collectors but to historians, educators, and cultural enthusiasts. And as you handle the coin, the tactile sensation, the weight, thickness, and smooth edges all contribute to understanding quality. Even small imperfections or extraordinary qualities influence desirability. Furthermore, the coin's journey from the mint to collector hands is a story of anticipation, circulation, and rediscovery. Some coins remain tucked away, forgotten, for years, only to emerge decades later into the hands of an attentive collector. The thrill of holding a rare example is enhanced by knowing its history, its design, and its rarity. And now consider the market. Collectors worldwide seek coins with exceptional condition, rare die varieties, or subtle anomalies, and the coin's valuation, $15 million for the finest examples, is a reflection of scarcity, condition, and historical significance. Professional grading ensures buyers can trust the coin's authenticity and grade, which is critical when selling or purchasing. High-value coins, auction houses, and specialized dealers provide secure platforms for these transactions, while unverified online sales carry risk. Documentation of provenance, storage, and certification ensures maximum return. And now we delve deeper into potential anomalies. Collectors search for faint doubling, minor die cracks, subtle planket inconsistencies, or unusual strikes. Even small deviations can elevate a coin into a premium collectible. These tiny details reward the observant collector. Combining numismatic expertise, patience, and attention to detail, and the emotional experience of handling this coin is profound, connecting collectors to the builders of the missions, to the artists of the mint, and to previous collectors who preserved it. Each glance and careful examination strengthens appreciation, understanding, and excitement. The coin embodies lessons in history, art, conservation, and human endeavor. It is a tangible piece of heritage, a miniature monument that tells a story more powerful than its size suggests. Yet the journey of discovery is ongoing. Every coin has nuances, and collectors who study luster, strike, mint mark, and design can uncover hidden treasures, subtle variations, and rare examples. The 2019 San Antonio Missions Quarter represents the fusion of culture, art, and history, offering insight into both the past and the meticulous craft of the mint. And collectors worldwide value this coin for its design, rarity, condition, and historical significance. Whether holding it, studying it under magnification, or preparing it for sale, the quarter provides lessons in observation, preservation, and numismatic knowledge. And as we conclude, remember the importance of professional grading, careful handling, proper storage, and informed selling. Certified examples reach their full potential value, while unverified coins carry risk. Auction houses, reputable dealers, and informed networks ensure a secure, rewarding experience. The coin's artistry, symbolism, and historical narrative inspire collectors to appreciate every detail, every contour, and every subtle nuance. The arches, bell towers, and mission walls are more than metal. They are a reflection of human endurance, cultural fusion, and the passage of time. And as you hold the coin, you become part of this story, connecting past, present, and future through the metal, the design, and the collector's passion. So continue to study, explore, preserve, and treasure every coin. Like, comment, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the journey of rare coins, the thrill of discovery, and the appreciation of history continue endlessly. And the 2019 San Antonio Missions National Historical Park Quarter is a shining example of why collectors dedicate their lives to uncovering, preserving, and celebrating these small yet profound treasures. This coin completes our journey for now, yet the adventure of numismatics continues, inspiring every collector to seek, learn, and preserve.
The 2000 Maryland State Quarter, a coin that carries history, symbolism, and numismatic intrigue, begins its journey in the heart of Annapolis, where the State House dome rises proudly over the city, a structure that witnessed the earliest moments of American independence. The design chosen for this coin, representing Maryland, reflects both architectural beauty and historical significance. Collectors often marvel at the dome, the wreath of laurel surrounding it, and the inscription, "The Old Line State," understanding that every detail, every ridge, every curve was carefully crafted by the United States Mint. The coin was produced in Philadelphia and Denver. the Philadelphia pieces carrying no mint mark, and the Denver pieces bearing the D. Its composition, 8.33% nickel clad over a pure copper core, weight 5.67 grams, diameter 24.26 millimeters, thickness 1.75 millimeters, precise specifications ensuring uniformity and consistency, yet within this uniformity, mystery emerges, because the minting process, though meticulous, is not infallible. The planchet must align perfectly beneath the dies, the obverse die striking George Washington's profile, the reverse die capturing the Maryland State House dome, wreath, and inscriptions. A slight misalignment, a tremor, or a variation in metal flow can create off-center strikes, double strikes, missing-clad layers, or die cracks, each error a unique fingerprint of the minting process. Off-center strikes, where the image is shifted toward one edge, leaving a blank crescent of planchet, can occur in varying degrees, from minor 5% shifts to dramatic 50% misalignments. Collectors prize these errors, as they are evidence of chance meeting history. The dome may float toward the rim, the laurel wreath may bend, and Washington's portrait may shrink in one corner, creating visual intrigue, missing clad errors, where the nickel layer fails to adhere or peels away, expose the copper core, giving either the obverse or reverse a copper-red hue against the silver nickel. Double strikes occur when the coin is struck twice by the dies, creating ghost-like secondary images, often distorting the dome or doubling lettering. Die cracks form when a die develops tiny fractures, squeezing metal into raised veins across the coin, each crack unique, telling the life story of the die and adding layers of rarity. Collectors understand that rarity is not only in visual drama but also in scarcity. Coins with these errors, especially in mint state condition, become highly sought after. Mint state coins, MS-60 to MS-70, display full lustrous fields, sharp details, and uncirculated surfaces, showing every hair in Washington's profile, every brick of the dome, and every leaf of the laurel wreath. Grading by PCGS or NGC provides authentication, condition, verification, and encapsulation. Slabs preserve the coin, assign authority, and allow collectors to market their Maryland state quarters confidently. Provenance also plays a key role. Coins pulled from bank rolls, mint bags, or private collections with documented history often command higher prices. Photography for listing must capture natural light, obverse, reverse, and edge, especially for missing clad errors. Accurate visual documentation combined with grading creates trust for potential buyers. Selling avenues include reputable auction houses such as heritage auctions, great collections, and online platforms like eBay, where serious collectors bid competitively. Coin shows also provide opportunities for in-person negotiation. Understanding error type, grade, and provenance is essential. Never sell to pawn shops or casual buyers who undervalue errors. The Maryland State Quarter also carries historical symbolism. The dome represents legislative continuity and early American governance. The laurel wreath signifies victory and resilience. The Old Line State inscription honors the disciplined Maryland troops of the Revolutionary War. Every aspect contributes to its narrative. When combined with minting anomalies, the coin becomes a storyteller, an artifact of history and mechanical chance. Collectors often describe the experience of finding an off-center or missing-clad Maryland as electrifying. The moment a coin is discovered in a roll, the heart races, the fingers tremble, the eyes study every angle, the contrast of copper and silver, the shifted design, the unique die crack, all creating a narrative that is tangible, physical, and historical. Double strikes and extreme off-center strikes are rarer than minor misalignments. The larger the anomaly, the higher the collector interest. Mint state coins with such dramatic errors are often highlighted in collections, exhibitions, and auctions, educating new collectors on the importance of condition, rarity, and historical context. Cleaning coins is strictly forbidden, as polish, chemicals, or abrasives destroy luster, details, and grading potential. Natural surfaces are valued far above artificially enhanced ones. Collectors also track die varieties and small minting differences. Minor differences in die engraving or planche preparation can dramatically influence the coin's classification and value. The Maryland State Quarter's errors have created a niche market, where enthusiasts trade, study, and hunt for specific types, including obverse or reverse missing clad, off-center, double strikes, and die cracks. Each coin becomes a map of mint history, a frozen moment in time, a story waiting to be discovered. Even small errors can elevate a coin above its face value. The combination of historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and mechanical anomalies makes the Maryland Quarter one of the most fascinating coins for collectors. Buyers seeking to purchase such coins should always verify grading, provenance, and authenticity, and sellers should ensure professional documentation and clear imagery. The thrill of discovery is compounded by the knowledge that millions of Maryland State Quarters circulated unnoticed. Yet a few became rare artifacts. Coins discovered in circulation, bankrolls, or forgotten collections can emerge decades later with dramatic errors. Each coin has its own journey, some passing through hands of ordinary spenders before landing in a collector's palm. The impact of finding a missing clad or off-center coin is almost spiritual, connecting the collector to the mint, history, and chance. These coins often inspire lifelong numismatic passion. Maryland collectors study every detail, measuring die cracks, examining planche texture, comparing luster, verifying thickness, weight, and diameter. Small variations in planche preparation, metal composition, or striking pressure can be the difference between ordinary circulation coin and legendary error as collectors document discoveries, share photographs, and participate in online forums. The story of the 2000 Maryland State Quarter grows, weaving together history, mechanical anomaly, collector experience, grading, authentication, provenance, and market dynamics. The coin's dome, laurel, and inscription combine with errors to create physical storytelling, connecting those who handle it to the early American Republic and the mint's intricate processes. Coin enthusiasts are advised to remain patient, study rolls carefully, verify grading, maintain natural surfaces, capture detailed imagery, and participate in auctions or reputable sales channels to maximize the coin's potential. The Maryland State Quarter, with its dome, laurel, inscription, mint errors, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, die cracks, and double strikes, is a symbol of history, rarity, and collector passion, a coin that exemplifies how ordinary circulation can intersect with extraordinary chance. Every flip, tilt, and inspection reveals new details. The copper-red core contrasted with silver nickel, the shifted dome, the ghosted lettering, the raised lines of die cracks, all telling the story of production, human error, and preservation. The Maryland Quarter teaches collectors about patience, observation, grading, authentication, provenance, selling strategy, historical appreciation, mechanical wonder, and the thrill of discovery. As a result, it remains one of the most coveted, fascinating, and celebrated coins in the United States, inspiring collectors to continue hunting, studying, sharing, and preserving these small metal windows into American history. The Maryland State Quarter is more than currency. It is narrative, it is chance, it is history, it is art. It is an experience waiting to be held, examined, graded, and cherished by those who understand the magic of minting and the power of rare coins. In the end, collectors of world rare coin understand that every coin carries not only monetary value, but a story, a lesson, a connection to history, and a tangible piece of the unexpected, making the 2000 Maryland State Quarter a timeless treasure, a mechanical marvel, and a narrative masterpiece, a coin to discover, study, preserve, and pass on for generations of collectors to come, a symbol of the union of history, rarity, artistry, and the human desire to find beauty in the unexpected, forever inspiring, forever fascinating, forever Maryland. The 2005 Kansas State Quarter, a coin that carries the spirit of the Sunflower State, begins its journey in the heartland of America, where rolling wheat fields, endless skies, and the pioneering legacy of settlers blend into a symbol of resilience. The quarter's reverse design features a striking image of a buffalo, or American bison, standing strong in the foreground, wheat stalks bending gracefully in the wind behind, capturing the essence of Kansas agriculture and wildlife. The obverse, as always, presents the dignified profile of George Washington, his gaze steady, commanding, the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter circling his portrait with precise engraving. The coin was produced in Philadelphia and Denver, the Philadelphia pieces carrying no mint mark and the Denver pieces marked with a D. Its composition copper core clad in nickel, weight 5.67 grams, diameter 24.26 millimeters, thickness 1.75 millimeters, specifications identical to other state quarters, ensuring uniformity. Yet within this uniformity lies potential for anomalies. Collectors know that rare Kansas quarters emerge not from mere circulation, but from the interplay of machinery, chance, and human oversight. The minting process, a ballet of precision, can produce off-center strikes, double strikes, missing-clad layers, die cracks, and other extraordinary errors. These anomalies are the lifeblood of numismatic passion. The Kansas quarter, while seemingly ordinary in most roles, can conceal remarkable secrets. Off-center strikes occur when the planche is misaligned beneath the dies, resulting in the buffalo shifting to one edge, wheat stalks partially missing, and lettering distorted. Collectors seek these variations because they represent rare moments where precision falters and chance intervenes. Missing-clad errors, in which the nickel layer fails to adhere to the copper core, reveal striking contrasts, giving either the obverse or reverse a red copper tone, turning Washington's portrait into a warm hue or the buffalo and wheat into glowing copper. Double strikes occur when the coin is struck twice, creating ghost images of the buffalo, wheat, or Washington, sometimes overlapping, sometimes slightly rotated, producing a surreal effect that collectors find mesmerizing. Die cracks form when the mint die develops fractures, forcing metal to squeeze into the cracks and creating raised lines across the coin's surface. Collectors delight in these imperfections because they are unique. One-of-a-kind records of the mint's machinery and production history, grading, authentication, and preservation are critical. Companies like PCGS and NGC examine the coin's surface, luster, strike, and details, assigning mint state grades from MS60 to MS70, where uncirculated coins with full detail command the highest collector interest. Provenance also matters. Coins pulled from bankrolls, vending machines, or private collections with documented history often carry premium value. Photography must capture obverse, reverse, and edges clearly, especially for missing-clad errors or off-center strikes. Natural lighting is essential, and coins must not be cleaned, polished, or artificially enhanced. The Kansas quarter tells a story of American heritage, the buffalo representing the strength of the plains, the wheat stalks representing the state's agricultural backbone. The juxtaposition of these elements on a small metal canvas is powerful. When combined with minting anomalies, the coin becomes a narrative, a tangible artifact of chance, history, and artistry. Collectors experience exhilaration when discovering a misaligned strike the moment the buffalo shifts, the wheat disappears, or a copper core glimmers through the nickel. This is the moment where circulation meets destiny. Mint state Kansas quarters with errors become prized highlights in collections, exhibitions, and auctions. The market responds with excitement. The rarer and more dramatic the anomaly, the higher the interest. Double-struck Kansas quarters, where ghost images overlap the buffalo and wheat, are particularly captivating. Off-center strikes of 20% or more reveal partially visible inscriptions and dramatic misalignment. Missing-clad quarters expose the red copper beneath the silver nickel, creating stunning visual contrast. Die cracks form intricate raised networks that snake across the coin's surface, each crack telling a story of production, use, and error. Collectors know that the coin's condition is paramount. Natural surfaces uncleaned, untouched, preserved under proper storage, are far more valuable than polished or damaged examples. Selling a rare Kansas quarter requires strategy, patience, and knowledge. Reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections provide global platforms where serious collectors bid competitively. Online marketplaces like eBay offer visibility, but listings must be accompanied by certified grading, accurate descriptions, detailed photographs, and clear documentation of error type and provenance. Coin shows provide opportunities for in-person evaluation, networking, and negotiation. Understanding the coin's error type, grade, and provenance allows collectors to communicate its rarity effectively. Never sell to pawn shops, casual buyers, or inexperienced dealers who cannot appreciate the unique value of mint errors. Kansas collectors often study planche preparation, metal flow, striking pressure, die wear, and luster under magnification, observing minute details that distinguish ordinary coins from exceptional anomalies. The coin's design, depicting a powerful buffalo with wheat bending in the wind, is emblematic of the state's history. The buffalo, once roaming vast plains, now immortalized on a small coin, represents endurance, survival, and the beauty of American wildlife. The wheat stalks symbolize sustenance, agriculture, and the quiet strength of Kansas farmers. The inscriptions provide context, linking this coin to the United States. The motto, E pluribus unum, reminding collectors of unity and heritage. When a mint error intersects with this symbolism, the result is more than currency. It becomes a collectible artifact, a tangible piece of history, a narrative frozen in metal. Off-center strikes, double strikes, missing clad layers, and die cracks transform the Kansas quarter into a story, one that collectors trace, document, and share with others. The thrill of discovery, finding an error in a roll or machine, creates a profound emotional connection. Mint state examples with errors become centerpieces of collections, educational tools, and market highlights. Collectors document die cracks, misalignments, copper flashes, and double images, each measurement, each observation enhancing the understanding of minting processes and numismatic history. Natural surfaces, uncleaned, preserved in PCGS or NGC slabs, maintain luster, sharp detail, and authoritative certification, provenance, and authentication. Increase collector confidence. Marketing these coins requires detailed photography, accurate description, and awareness of market dynamics. Auctions and shows provide ideal venues to reach knowledgeable buyers. The Kansas State Quarter exemplifies the intersection of design, historical symbolism, mechanical chance, and collector passion. The buffalo, wheat, inscriptions, errors, grading, and provenance merge to create a coin that is simultaneously beautiful, rare, and historically meaningful. Every Kansas quarter with a misalignment, missing clad, double strike, or die crack represents a unique narrative, a moment in minting history frozen in time. The excitement of discovery, the careful grading, the thoughtful preservation, and the strategic sale all contribute to the coin's significance. Collectors who understand these principles treat the Kansas quarter not as currency, but as a map, a story, a collectible, a treasure, and a source of lifelong fascination. The coin connects past and present, mint and collector, error and history, imagination and observation, inspiring ongoing exploration of numismatic phenomena. Rare Kansas State quarters continue to captivate, educate, and excite, their stories intertwining with the collectors who discover them. The coin's design, mechanical anomalies, preservation, grading, provenance, and market strategies all combine to form an unparalleled numismatic experience, making the 2005 Kansas State Quarter a legend, a masterpiece of accidental perfection, a testament to history, chance, and the enduring passion of collectors. A coin to seek, study, preserve, and celebrate, forever connected to American heritage and the thrill of numismatic discovery. A coin to cherish, analyze, and pass down through generations of collectors, a symbol of the unpredictable magic of minting. a treasure, a story, and a lifelong pursuit of those who understand the beauty of rare coins, inspiring awe, study, and reverence. Forever Kansas. The 2008 Arizona State Quarter, a coin that captures the essence of the Grand Canyon State, begins its journey with imagery that reflects both the natural beauty and cultural heritage of Arizona. The reverse design depicts the Grand Canyon itself, a timeless landscape carved by the Colorado River, with a saguaro cactus standing proudly in the foreground, symbolizing the resilience of life in the desert. The obverse presents George Washington's profile, as on all state quarters, his gaze steady and dignified. The inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter framing his portrait with precision. The coin was minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, and in Denver with the D mint mark. Its specifications identical to other state quarters. Weight 5.67 grams, diameter 24.26 millimeters, thickness 1.75 millimeters. Copper core clad in nickel. Yet within this uniformity lies the potential for extraordinary anomalies. Collectors understand that minting machinery, though highly precise, can produce off-center strikes, missing clad layers, double strikes, and die cracks. These anomalies are the lifeblood of numismatic excitement, and Arizona, like Maryland and Kansas before it, has become a canvas where mechanical chance meets historical storytelling. Off-center strikes occur when the planche misaligns beneath the dies, shifting the Grand Canyon or saguaro cactus toward the edge, partially obscuring the inscriptions, and creating dramatic visual interest. Missing clad errors, where the nickel layer fails to adhere properly, reveal the copper core, giving the obverse or reverse a warm, reddish tone. Transforming George Washington or the Grand Canyon into a striking contrast, double strikes occur when the coin is struck twice, producing ghost images, overlapping landscapes, or doubled inscriptions. Die cracks form when the die develops fractures, forcing metal to flow into the cracks and creating raised veins across the surface. Collectors prize these imperfections because each crack is unique, documenting the history of mint production and machineware. Grading by PCGS or NGC is essential for authentication and valuation. Coins are examined for surface quality, luster, strike sharpness, and originality. Mint state grades from MS60 to MS70 denote uncirculated coins, with the highest grades commanding the greatest collector interest. Provenance is equally important. Coins discovered in bankrolls, vending machines, or private collections with documented history are often more desirable. Photography for listings must include obverse, reverse, and edges, especially for missing clad or off-center errors. Natural lighting should highlight luster, and cleaning or polishing must be avoided to preserve value. The Arizona Quarter's design is deeply symbolic. The Grand Canyon representing enduring geological history, timelessness, and natural wonder. The saguaro cactus representing resilience, life thriving in adversity. Inscriptions linking the coin to the United States, and the motto E pluribus unum, reminding collectors of unity. When mechanical anomalies intersect with this symbolism, the coin becomes more than currency. It becomes a tangible artifact of chance, artistry, and American heritage. Collectors experience exhilaration when discovering off-center strikes. The Grand Canyon shifted, the saguaro partially obscured, or copper gleaming through missing clad layers. These moments connect them to history, machinery, and rarity. Mint State Arizona quarters with such anomalies become prized collection highlights, exhibition pieces, and auction stars. The rarity and drama of errors drive market excitement. The more extreme or visually striking the anomaly, the higher the collector interest. Double strikes on Arizona quarters create ghosted images of the canyon or cactus, overlapping with inscriptions, producing surreal, captivating effects. Off-center strikes of 20% or more reveal partial inscriptions, cropped landscapes, and distorted portraits. Missing clad errors expose the red copper beneath silver nickel. Creating striking contrast, die cracks meander across the landscape, unique to each coin, telling the story of minting and machinery. Collectors examine planchet preparation, metal flow, die wear, luster, and detail under magnification, understanding how minute variations distinguish ordinary coins from extraordinary errors. The coin's condition is paramount. Natural surfaces, uncleaned, untouched, preserved in slabs, maintain luster, sharpness, and market credibility. Authentication and certification by PCGS or NGC provides authority and confidence for buyers. Provenance and historical documentation enhance market appeal. Coins discovered in circulation decades later often surprise collectors with rare errors. The Arizona Quarter, when off-center, double-struck, missing clad or bearing die cracks, transforms into a narrative. Connecting collectors to minting processes, American history, and the thrill of discovery, collectors study each coin meticulously, documenting misalignment, copper exposure, double images, and die cracks, combining observation with grading and provenance, creating an experience that goes beyond monetary value. Selling a rare Arizona State Quarter requires strategy, patience, and market knowledge. Reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Great Collections provide competitive environments for collectors. Online platforms like eBay allow global reach but require detailed descriptions, certified grading, and clear photographs. Coin shows offer in-person evaluation and negotiation opportunities. Communicating error type, grade, and provenance is essential. Never sell to pawn shops or casual buyers who undervalue mint errors. The Arizona State Quarter exemplifies the intersection of design, historical symbolism, mechanical chance, and collector passion. The Grand Canyon and saguaro cactus, combined with minting anomalies, grading, provenance, and preservation, create a coin that is simultaneously beautiful, rare, educational, and historically meaningful. Every Arizona Quarter with an anomaly represents a unique narrative, a moment in minting history captured in metal. The thrill of discovery, careful grading, preservation, and strategic sale all contribute to the coin's significance. Collectors treat this coin not as currency, but as a map, a story, a treasure, and a lifelong source of fascination. The coin connects past and present, mint and collector, error and history, imagination and observation, inspiring exploration of numismatic phenomena. Rare Arizona State Quarters continue to educate, excite, and captivate, their stories intertwining with the collectors who discover them. The coin's design, mechanical anomalies, preservation, grading, provenance, and market strategies merge into a comprehensive numismatic experience, making the 2008 Arizona State Quarter a legend, a masterpiece of accidental perfection, a testament to history, chance, and enduring collector passion, a coin to seek, study, preserve, and celebrate, fully connected to the journey of the 2000 Maryland and 2005 Kansas State Quarters, inspiring awe, study, and reverence. Forever, Arizona.
The story of the 2002 Tennessee State Quarter begins not in a vault or a collector's box, but in the hands of everyday Americans, in gas stations, diners, and small-town stores across the volunteer state, where loose change carried symbols of pride and heritage, minted to honor the rich musical and cultural history of Tennessee. The design proudly featuring 3 musical instruments, a guitar, a fiddle, and a trumpet, resting together over a sheet of music, a tribute to the rhythm that shaped America's soul. But hidden among millions of these coins lies one that breaks all the rules, one that changed hands unknowingly, before vanishing into the shadows of time. It was a normal day in 2002 when the U.S. Mint released the Tennessee Quarter. Millions were struck in Philadelphia and Denver, with bright luster and crisp details. Yet somewhere in that process, something extraordinary happened. A rare minting error slipped through unnoticed, an alignment that defied perfection, an overstruck planchet that carried faint traces of another design beneath. Invisible to the untrained eye, but unmistakable to experts, that single detail, that tiny imperfection, transformed an ordinary 25-cent piece into a numismatic marvel worth millions. Today, collectors often say the story of a coin begins with its metal, and for this Tennessee quarter, that's pure truth. Its composition of copper and nickel may seem simple, but the magic lies in its creation. Each quarter weighing about 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24-26 millimeters and a thickness near 1.75 millimeters. But those numbers mean little until you understand what they represent. Precision, consistency, perfection. That's the standard the U.S. Mint lives by. Yet every now and then, even perfection stumbles. And when it does, it leaves behind treasures like this one. The Tennessee State Quarter wasn't just a coin, it was a piece of art, symbolizing the state's musical legacy. Memphis blues, Nashville country, Knoxville's Appalachian melodies. It carried not just metal but melody, not just weight, but meaning. And when a coin like that carries an error, the rarity doubles, because it's not just an error coin. It's a flawed masterpiece, a reminder that even in precision, there's beauty in imperfection. Experts from PCGS and NGC, the two most trusted grading authorities in the numismatic world, often remind collectors that condition is everything. A coin's surface tells a story of its journey from mint to pocket, from pocket to time. And when one of these Tennessee quarters surfaced in pristine condition, graded MS-68 by PCGS, it sent waves through the community. Collectors couldn't believe that something so flawless, yet with a subtle minting anomaly, existed. Its fields mirrored like glass, its edges sharp as the day it was struck, and under magnification, the mystery deepened, showing double details near the instruments, a sign of an incredibly rare double die strike, a once-in-a-generation find. Now imagine this. Someone once spent that very coin, not knowing its fate. Maybe they bought a cup of coffee. Maybe it slipped into a cash register and disappeared for decades, until one sharp-eyed collector noticed something different. A gleam, a pattern, a small difference in strike. And that moment changed everything. That's the beauty of numismatics. It's not just about owning metal, it's about uncovering forgotten history. A time capsule in your hand. And the Tennessee Quarter is the perfect example of that. When this coin was first submitted to PCGS, graders examined it under precision lighting, searching for die cracks, planchet defects, and edge variations. They found something spectacular. The alignment between obverse and reverse was slightly off. A minor rotation error, paired with a faint overstrike pattern on the lower reverse, and that combination made it unlike any other known Tennessee quarter. Its estimated value skyrocketed as experts verified authenticity, and word spread like wildfire through the collector world. Soon it was known as the $1 million music coin, a title that continues to echo through coin shows and online auctions even today. But what truly determines that multi-million-dollar price tag is more than error alone. It's rarity combined with demand. And that's where grading plays its biggest role. The difference between an MS-65 and an MS-68 grade can mean thousands, even millions. PCGS and NGC use a 70-point scale, where 70 represents perfection, untouched by circulation. The Tennessee Quarter's known highest grade at MS-68 places it in elite company, with mirrored fields, frosted design, and eye appeal beyond description. And for collectors, that's where the real excitement begins. Now let's talk about how coins like this are sold. Because not every marketplace is equal. If you ever find a Tennessee quarter that looks unusual, don't rush to eBay or social media. Your first step should be authentication. Send it to PCGS or NGC. Once graded, your coin gains credibility, and that certification number can be verified online by buyers worldwide. From there, major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections become your next stop. These are trusted by serious collectors and investors who understand the real value of numismatic rarities. Selling through these platforms ensures fair pricing, professional handling, and global exposure. The story doesn't end with selling, though, because for many, this Tennessee quarter became more than money. It became a legend, sparking debates in numismatic forums, inspiring documentaries, and even leading to the discovery of other near-perfect examples. Though none quite matched the original, The myth grew as collectors began examining every Tennessee quarter they owned, hoping lightning would strike twice, and in doing so, they rediscovered the thrill of the hunt, the heartbeat of coin collecting itself. Let's pause for a moment and imagine you, sitting at your kitchen table, flipping through your change. You see that same Tennessee quarter, the guitar gleaming slightly brighter, the music sheet etched with deeper contrast, and you wonder, could it be? Could this be one of them? That's how every great numismatic discovery begins. With curiosity, with observation, with passion. And that's why the community thrives, because each new discovery breathes life into history again. Now let's get deeper into the coin's anatomy, because understanding the details helps collectors spot potential treasures. The obverse of the Tennessee Quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan, his face framed by the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty and In God We Trust. The reverse side, designed by Donna Weaver, brings Tennessee's musical heritage to life, the trumpet representing jazz, the guitar for country, and the fiddle for Appalachian folk. Together they rest upon a sheet of music with notes forming a perfect rhythm, and beneath, the words, Musical Heritage in Tennessee 1796. The year Tennessee joined the Union for the rare error specimen. The striking anomaly appears most visibly around the edges of the trumpet and fiddle, where doubling occurs, faint but visible under magnification. The fields around these instruments display extra luster due to dye polishing, a detail often mistaken for wear, but actually a sign of mint preparation. Collectors with trained eyes can spot these differences, and that's what separates casual finders from numismatic legends. The coin's thickness of 1.75 millimeters and weight of 5.67 grams might seem trivial, yet when a planchet error occurs, these numbers shift ever so slightly, and those tiny changes tell experts volumes. An off-metal strike, a missing clad layer, or an overstruck design can each alter a coin's specifications. And for the Tennessee Quarter, that's part of its charm, a perfect storm of subtle mistakes that together create one unforgettable masterpiece through every grading step. From authentication to encapsulation, the Tennessee Quarter's story gained layers, and with each layer its mystery deepened. People began asking how something so rare could escape detection. And numismatists point to one answer: the human element. Despite machines, precision tools, and quality checks, the minting process still involves moments where human eyes make the call. And sometimes, those eyes blink, letting history slip through unnoticed. This coin's journey didn't stop at grading. Though once certified and valued, it became the centerpiece of exhibitions, appearing in coin shows across the U.S., from Chicago to Atlanta, drawing crowds of curious visitors eager to glimpse the coin that turned pocket change into fortune. Many said it had an aura, a glow under the display light that seemed unreal. But that's what happens when metal meets myth, when rarity meets recognition. Now, dear collectors and viewers of World Rare Coin, think about this, somewhere out there, in your home, your wallet, or your jar of quarters. Another like it could be waiting, maybe not identical, but valuable in its own right. So before you spend that change, look closer. Tilt it under the light. Study its edges. Search for doubling, rotation, or unusual texture. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next name whispered across the coin community. Maybe your discovery will inspire a new generation of collectors. If you're enjoying this story, tap that like button, drop a comment sharing what coin you found lately, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because every week, we uncover more hidden treasures, more untold stories from America's pocket change. The Tennessee Quarter reminds us that beauty and fortune often hide in plain sight. It's more than metal. It's memory, it's music, it's mystery, a blend of history and art wrapped into one tiny masterpiece. And somewhere it still waits, its tune not yet finished, calling out to the next collector brave enough to listen. When the 2007 Utah State Quarter was released, few people realized they were holding a story that would one day shake the numismatic world. Minted to honor the final link of the Transcontinental Railroad, it shows two locomotives facing each other, their smokestacks nearly touching, a golden spike between them, symbolizing the connection that united the East and West of America. It's more than a design. It's a moment captured in time, a celebration of progress, determination, and history. And deep within this scene lies one of the rarest errors ever recorded. An anomaly so precise, so unexpected, that even the most skilled eyes missed it for years. The Utah State Quarter was struck at both the Denver and Philadelphia mints. Millions of coins poured into circulation, shiny and flawless at first glance. But among those millions, one coin emerged different, an error so extraordinary it defied logic. This single quarter carried an overstrike from a misaligned die, creating a double image that perfectly mirrored the locomotives, almost as if the trains were moving. Colliding, alive in motion, it was a minting miracle, an accident that created art within art, and when that coin was finally discovered, numismatists across America were stunned. Its weight was measured at 567 grams, consistent with standard quarters, its diameter at 24-26 millimeters, and its thickness right near 1.75 millimeters. But its striking pressure and alignment told a different story. A subtle rotation between obverse and reverse, about 5 degrees off, invisible to most, yet a clue to its authenticity. And those slight imperfections, those minute differences, became the reason this Utah quarter would one day be valued at over $11 million. The magic of the Utah quarter lies not only in its design, but in the deeper meaning of its imagery. The two trains approaching each other from opposite directions symbolize unity, strength, and connection. And just as those trains met in 1869, two worlds met again in this coin. Precision and flaw, art and error, perfection and chance. The universe chose this single piece of metal to tell a story beyond its face value, and collectors were eager to uncover its truth. When the rare specimen was sent to PCGS for grading, the team of experts took their time, magnifying the coin under multiple lights, scanning the ridges, inspecting the fields for die doubling. What they found was remarkable. Under the locomotive wheels, faint doubling could be seen. Not just mechanical doubling, but true hub doubling. A minting error so rare that only a handful of state quarters ever exhibited it. The strike was crisp, the luster untouched, and the coin's surface gleamed like it had never known circulation. It received an MS-69 grade, a nearly perfect score, 1 point shy of absolute perfection. A grade that instantly sent shockwaves through collector communities. NGC soon confirmed the finding, labeling it a once-in-a-generation mint anomaly. And that certification turned it from a collector's item into a historical artifact. Newspapers began to report on the discovery. Coin shows buzzed with talk. And soon, the legend of the Utah double train quarter was born. Whispers spread that the coin's design seemed almost alive under light, as though the locomotives were moving toward each other, the smoke shifting with every tilt of the hand, creating an illusion that stunned every viewer who saw it in person. Collectors often say a coin's value is a blend of story, rarity, and condition, and the Utah quarter possessed all three. The story tied it to one of America's greatest engineering achievements. The rarity came from the near-impossible error, and the condition was unmatched. This combination transformed a piece of pocket change into a symbol of both human achievement and imperfection. And that's what makes this coin so irresistible to numismatists around the world. But how did such a valuable coin survive unnoticed? How did it remain hidden in plain sight? The answer lies in circulation patterns when coins are minted. They pass through high-speed counting and packaging systems. Even minor rotations or doubling often escape detection. And once these coins enter the public system, they vanish into circulation, waiting for someone with curiosity and knowledge to rediscover them. And that's where you, the viewer, come in. Because anyone, anywhere in America, could hold a coin just like it, without knowing its worth. So let's talk details. The Utah quarter's metal composition is the same as other modern quarters, a clad combination of copper and nickel, with a copper core visible on the coin's edge. Yet the unique striking pressure during this minting error caused a slightly higher relief in the central design, making the golden spike appear sharper, almost elevated under magnification This gave the coin a 3D illusion, a detail that PCGS experts noted during their evaluation. This depth effect became one of the most striking features separating it from standard strikes. The coin's edge features a 119 reeds, evenly spaced, but in the error specimen, a tiny misalignment shifted several reeds out of position. This edge anomaly, though nearly invisible to the naked eye, added yet another layer of authentication, proof that this coin wasn't just special, it was singular when it comes to selling a coin like this. The process requires precision and patience. If you find a Utah State Quarter that looks even slightly different, thicker lettering, doubling, rotation, or stronger relief, don't clean it, don't polish it, and don't list it online immediately. Your first step is to send it for grading through PCGS or NGC. Their authentication not only guarantees legitimacy, but also increases collector confidence. Once you receive the grade, you can approach premier auction platforms like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where high-net-worth collectors and investors compete for rare specimens like these. Auctions like these can turn life-changing discoveries into reality. Now let's talk about the power of grading in depth. PCGS and NGC both use a 70-point Sheldon scale, and while most circulated Utah quarters range from MS-60 to MS-65, anything above MS-67 enters elite territory. An MS-69 with a verified double die strike is almost mythical, a combination of flawless preservation and minting rarity that few coins in American history can match. And that's exactly what this Utah coin achieved. Its mirrored fields, sharp edges, and bold details captivated experts. Its reverse sparkle under proper lighting, as if reflecting the flash of two locomotives meeting under a setting sun. The coin became a symbol of discovery, a reminder that treasures still hide among us. Every gas station, every store, every piece of change could be holding a secret fortune. And it's that mystery that keeps collectors searching. The thrill of finding something no one else has noticed. And that's what numismatics is all about. The chase, the patience, and the reward that comes when knowledge meets chance at numismatic conventions. Experts often bring up this Utah quarter when discussing the importance of die variety identification, because its unique characteristics taught a generation of collectors to look closer, to pay attention to subtle details like die cracks, lettering thickness, and alignment. The smallest difference can change everything, and in this case, it changed a 25-cent coin into an $11 million legend for many. The Utah State Quarter represents more than wealth. It represents destiny. A piece of history that reminds us of how America's past connects through art, machinery, and human hands, and every collector who holds one feels that connection, as though touching a moment in time. If you're watching this right now, take a moment after this video, open your coin jar, your wallet, or that box of state quarters you've kept for years. Pull out the Utah design and examine it closely under light. Look for doubling near the locomotives. Check for slight rotation when you flip it, and notice the relief on the spike. That's how discoveries begin, with curiosity and care. And remember, never clean your coins, because cleaning can destroy the microscopic details that determine grade and authenticity. Collectors pay for originality, for untouched surfaces that preserve the story of a coin's life. That's what makes a coin like this worth millions, not just metal value, but history preserved in perfection. As the Utah Quarter continues to inspire fascination, its legend grows, featured in numismatic magazines, documentaries, and collector podcasts. It serves as a beacon for those who dream of uncovering hidden treasures, the kind of discovery that starts with nothing more than a simple coin in your palm and ends with history unfolding before your eyes. So if you love the thrill of the hunt, if you believe in stories written in metal and time, make sure you like this video. Leave a comment about your favorite state quarter, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because every week, we dive deeper into the hidden world of America's currency, where the next fortune could be waiting right in your pocket. The 2007 Utah State Quarter stands as proof that miracles can happen even in machinery, that art can emerge from imperfection, and that somewhere out there, maybe in your own change, the next legend might be waiting, its shine dull with time. but its story ready to ignite the imagination of the next great collector. Beneath the wide Colorado sky where dunes shift like waves of time, a coin was born that carried more than metal. It carried silence, power, and mystery. The 2014 Great Sand Dunes National Park Quarter was minted to celebrate one of America's most breathtaking landscapes, a place where wind sculpts the earth and every grain of sand tells a story of patience. This coin, designed with the image of a father and child beside rippling dunes, seems peaceful at first glance, yet among the countless pieces struck that year, one coin emerged unlike any other, a piece that would rise from dust and shadow to become one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. It began like any other strike at the Denver Mint, the clatter of machinery, the precision rhythm of presses, copper-nickel planchets sliding in sequence, but something shifted. A misfeed, a momentary misalignment that no one noticed. And in that fleeting second, the die struck with too much pressure, imprinting the design with layers of depth unseen before. The child's silhouette appeared sharper, the dunes more defined, and under certain light, the landscape seemed alive. That one error created a coin of haunting beauty, a natural engraving shaped by chance itself. For months it passed through hands unnoticed, from change jars to registers, from state to state, until a collector visiting Alamosa spotted something strange. Under sunlight, the quarter gleamed with an unusual sheen, deeper luster, heavier relief. He weighed it at 567 grams, normal, but measured a thickness slightly above 1.76 millimeters, just enough to signal something extraordinary. And that's how its journey from ordinary to legendary began. Experts at PCGS received the coin with curiosity, expecting a simple striking variation. Yet what they saw under magnification was unprecedented. Between the dunes near the lower rim appeared faint doubling, not mechanical, but true hub doubling from a secondary strike. The edges displayed stronger reed definition, and the planche showed minor broad striking on the obverse rim, each sign pointing to a rare mint anomaly. When graders finished examination, the verdict stunned everyone: an MS-69 grade, mirror-like surfaces, flawless strike, a single deviation from perfection, and a mint error that made history. The market roared as collectors realized the magnitude of what had surfaced. The design itself adds to the mystique. The Great Sand Dunes Quarter, part of the America the Beautiful series, depicts nature's vastness and humanity's quiet bond with it. Sculpted by Don Everhart, it shows a father and child playing beside the dunes with Mount Herard in the background, capturing stillness and motion in one frame. On the reverse stands George Washington's timeless profile. The contrast between human warmth and the ancient landscape gives the coin poetic balance. And when that design is altered by chance, it becomes something more. A collaboration between artistry and accident. Collectors often compare the 2014 Sand Dunes error to the 1955 double die cent. Both born from imperfection, both turning simple currency into legend. Yet the Sand Dunes Quarter is rarer still. Its striking depth so intense that even the letters of United States of America carry a faint doubling. Its luster dances differently, as if the Colorado wind still moves across its surface, and that uniqueness fuels its $16 million valuation. The coin's physical properties mirror standard quarters, 24-26 millimeters in diameter, 567 grams in weight. But its metallic layering holds the secret. Experts discovered that during the mistrike, the upper nickel layer compressed unusually, creating micro-ridges across the dunes. Invisible without magnification, those ridges scatter light, producing the coin's signature glow, the phenomenon now known among collectors as the dune effect, a rare optical shimmer unique to this specimen. As word spread, the coin drew global attention. NGC verified its authenticity, calling it one of the finest modern errors ever documented. And soon it appeared at major auctions, its bidding war turning legendary. Investors from across the United States competed, the price rising past $10 million before settling near 16. The room silent as the hammer fell. History made once more through a single quarter born of sand and steel. for collectors seeking such treasures. The lesson is clear. Always inspect your America the Beautiful series quarters under light. Search for depth, for doubling, for misalignment, because errors hide in the smallest details. And the right discovery can change a life. If you ever find something unusual, send it immediately to PCGS or NGC for grading. Those institutions are the gatekeepers of authenticity. Their encapsulation not only protects, but elevates a coin's value beyond imagination. Once authenticated, the safest path to sell is through heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. These platforms connect you to the world's leading numismatists, ensuring fair bidding and historical recognition. The Sand Dunes Quarter also reshaped how collectors view modern coinage, proving that even recent releases can rival the legends of the past. Its discovery reignited passion among new generations, reminding everyone that treasure still circulates, hidden in plain sight, waiting for those who look beyond shine and shape. For those who see the story within the strike, imagine standing on the real dunes, wind whispering through endless sand, holding the same coin that mirrors the landscape before you, each ridge on the coin reflecting the hills around you. It's as if the earth itself was pressed into metal. That emotion, that connection, is what makes numismatics more than a hobby. It's history you can hold. It's art that endures. For a coin of such magnitude, preservation is vital. It must be stored in climate-controlled conditions. Away from humidity and direct light, a single fingerprint can lower its grade. The PCGS slab protects it in inert acrylic, ensuring the coin remains untouched by time. And that protection keeps its million-dollar luster eternal at coin shows across America. People still gather to see it. The Sand Dunes Quarter glows softly under glass, its dunes rolling in miniature. Its story whispered through every crowd. Parents lift children to see it. Collectors nod in awe, and all agree on one thing, that no technology, no minting perfection, could ever replicate the beautiful accident that created it. So, viewers of World Rare Coin, look closely at your own quarters. Check the 2014 date, tilt it under light, see how the dunes reflect. Notice the depth, the relief, the fine details around the father and child. Because every discovery begins with curiosity, and your hands might be holding the next legend of the numismatic world. Tap that like button. If you love stories like this, leave a comment telling where you're watching from, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Because every week we uncover new mysteries from America's money. We decode mint marks, errors, and hidden rarities, helping you turn ordinary change into extraordinary history. The 2014 Great Sand Dunes Quarter isn't just worth $16 million. It's worth wonder. It's proof that beauty and fortune can rise from silence, from chance, from the timeless dance of wind and sand. And it reminds us that in every coin lies a story, waiting to be found, waiting to be told, waiting for you to look a little closer and listen to what history whispers through metal. The story begins with a simple coin resting silently in the palm of a hand, a coin that millions of Americans have seen, yet few have truly noticed. The 2002 Indiana State Quarter, a shining tribute to the crossroads of America, glimmering with history, speed, and the energy of the open road, minted to honor the spirit of Indiana, where innovation meets tradition, where racing hearts echo the roar of engines on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This quarter became more than a piece of change. It became a storyteller of pride, ambition, and unexpected fortune. Imagine a small diner on Route 66, where a traveler pays for his coffee, leaving behind this very quarter. The waitress scoops it into the register, unaware of its hidden story. A story waiting years to unfold. For among the millions struck in 2002, a few were born different, minted with a rare error. A slight imperfection invisible to untrained eyes, yet priceless to those who understand the delicate art of numismatics. Collectors know that in the world of rare coins, perfection and imperfection both hold value. The slightest double strike, a minting misalignment, or a subtle die crack can transform a 25-cent coin into a treasure worth millions. And so begins the legend of the 2002 Indiana Quarter. The obverse side bears the classic portrait of George Washington, strong and steady, the word liberty gleaming across the upper rim. The reverse side, however, tells the story of speed, an Indy race car streaking past the state outline, 19 stars encircling the design, representing Indiana's entry as the 19th state of the Union. The craftsmanship of this design captured the essence of motion, ambition, and pride. Yet what makes certain Indiana quarters so extraordinary lies hidden beneath this artistry, in the subtle signs of mint variation and preservation. In the field of numismatics, where detail defines destiny, experts from grading giants like PCGS and NGC have spent decades teaching collectors how to distinguish common from legendary, grading scales from poor to mint state 70 mark, the journey of every coin. And when an Indiana quarter emerges in mint state 69 or 70, with full luster, no contact marks, sharp relief, and mirror-like surfaces, its story transforms. Collectors across the United States and beyond start to notice. Dealers whisper about new discoveries, and auction floors buzz with anticipation. Condition is everything. The thickness of this coin measures about 1.75 millimeters. The weight stands around 5.67 grams, and the diameter spans precisely 24.26 millimeters, a balance of precision and artistry that only the United States Mint could master. The coin's edges are reeded, finely cut, symbolizing quality and uniformity. Yet sometimes an error occurs, a misstrike, a clipped planchet, or a double die, and that is where fortune begins. The 2002 Indiana State Quarter was minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, marked by the familiar P and D mint marks, and a few proofs minted in San Francisco with an S mark. The proofs shine with a mirror finish, often sealed within collectors' sets, but occasionally a rare flaw sneaks into production, creating the kind of numismatic miracle that every collector dreams about. Picture this: a coin graded by PCGS, authenticated as a double die reverse, preserved in pristine condition. No scratches, no dullness, only brilliance. It enters the auction floor. Bidders from across America join the race. The atmosphere electric, hearts pounding, and when the gavel falls, the 2002 Indiana Quarter that once slipped unnoticed through countless hands now holds a staggering value of $3 million. Its story becoming legend. But how does one find such a coin? How does one even begin to tell if the quarter sitting in their drawer is one of these priceless treasures? It begins with knowledge, patience, and the understanding that coin collecting is more than a hobby. It is a journey through time and craftsmanship. First, look at the surface, the shine, the strike. A rare Indiana quarter often reveals itself through flawless surfaces, crisp detail, and preserved mint luster. Next, examine the edges. Errors sometimes leave subtle clues: flattened reeds, extra thickness, or faint doubling on the lettering. A trained eye can detect these secrets, but to confirm, one must turn to the professionals. Send the coin to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC, where experts with magnification and precision tools analyze every curve and corner, sealing the coin in a tamper-proof slab, officially certifying its grade, and forever preserving its value. Once graded, a coin's story becomes official. Collectors prefer coins with certification because it guarantees authenticity and condition. This is where the real market begins. Now imagine you discover a flawless Indiana quarter. Its surfaces gleam, its details crisp. You check for any errors, perhaps a double die on the race car lines or the stars. You decide to grade it. The anticipation builds as you wait for the results. And when the certification arrives reading MS-70, your heart races. For you now hold a piece of numismatic history, one of the rarest treasures minted in the early 2000s. The market for rare quarters has been growing rapidly. Collectors from the United States and beyond now actively seek out high-grade state quarters, many realizing that what once seemed like simple pocket change could hold immense value. And when it comes to selling, the right platform makes all the difference. Never rush to sell your coin at a pawn shop or unverified local dealer. Instead, take it to professional coin shows, or list it through auction houses that specialize in rare coins such as heritage auctions. Stack's Bowers or Great Collections, these platforms attract serious buyers. Competitive bidding and fair valuation, or, for independent sellers, certified coins can also find premium offers on eBay under proper authentication. But remember, presentation is everything. Coins sealed in certified holders with clear images. Detailed descriptions and grading reports tend to achieve higher prices. And when you tell the coin's story, include its journey, its design symbolism, and its connection to American history. Because collectors are drawn not just by metal, but by meaning. The 2002 Indiana State Quarter stands as a symbol of motion, courage, and craftsmanship. It tells the story of a nation constantly in motion, striving for excellence, and preserving heritage in small metallic masterpieces. Each detail carved into it carries meaning. The outline of Indiana, the race car, the stars, they all whisper stories of speed, innovation, and state pride for many collectors. Holding this quarter feels like holding a small piece of America's racing soul, and when paired with its numismatic rarity, it becomes a bridge between everyday people and the extraordinary world of coin collecting. As you look closer, you realize this is not just about one coin. It is about discovery, about curiosity, about the thrill of uncovering history in your hands, the same thrill that drives millions of collectors worldwide to search through rolls of coins, old jars, and estate sales, hoping to find that one rare quarter that changes everything. And that is why this Indiana quarter, simple yet majestic, humble yet powerful, continues to captivate hearts and imaginations, from beginners learning about mint marks to advanced collectors hunting for mint state perfection. It teaches a lesson that value is not always visible. Sometimes it hides in the details, waiting patiently to be seen by those who care enough to look deeper. So the next time you find a 2002 Indiana State Quarter, don't just spend it, study it, observe the shine. The details, the precision, maybe, just maybe, you're holding one of those rare few, the kind that has the power to rewrite your story. And as we journey deeper into the world of coins, remember to share your discoveries. Comment below what treasures you have found. Hit like if this story has sparked your curiosity, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, where we reveal the hidden value behind every symbol of American heritage. Because the story of the next coin may just be the story that changes your life. Stay tuned, for in the next part, we uncover another remarkable treasure, one that carries the pride of Texas, the 2004 Texas State Quarter, a coin of strength, independence, and astonishing worth. Its story, just like the Indiana Quarter, will take you on a journey through design, rarity, and unexpected fortune. So don't blink, don't miss it. Your next discovery may be closer than you think. The sun rises over the vast plains of Texas, golden light spilling across endless horizons, touching every mountain ridge and desert brush, and somewhere among the pockets of a traveler lies a small shining piece of metal that carries the story of this mighty land. The 2004 Texas State Quarter, minted as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, a coin that embodies independence, heritage, and pride. A quarter that quietly transformed from simple currency to a symbol of wealth, rarity, and discovery. The design speaks volumes. On its reverse stands the proud outline of Texas, marked boldly with a single star, the famous Lone Star, shining with authority and resilience. Behind it, a lariat rope encircles the state shape, symbolizing unity and the strong ties of Texas culture. And on the obverse, the face of George Washington looks ahead, strong and resolute, representing leadership and legacy. Yet within this balance of art and symbolism, a few rare pieces emerged, touched by minting anomalies, born from perfection, meeting imperfection, transforming them into priceless treasures worth millions. To the untrained eye, the 2004 Texas Quarter looks ordinary, shiny perhaps, but common. Yet to those who study the fine craft of numismatics, each small imperfection tells a deeper story. A die clash, a double strike, a slight misalignment, even the faint doubling on letters like Liberty or the state outline, can mean the difference between a quarter worth 25 cents and one valued at $9 million. This coin, minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, bears the mint marks P and D respectively, while the San Francisco Mint produced the proof versions marked S. The regular circulation coins number in the hundreds of millions. Yet among them, a rare few emerged with unique minting features. The type that professional grading experts dream of encountering. The kind that change collecting history. The weight of this coin rests at 5.67 grams. The thickness near 1.75 millimeters. And a diameter of precisely 24.26 millimeters. Its edges finely reeded, consistent and crisp. These numbers define its structure. But its true worth is defined by the eye of the collector, the preservation of the surface, and the magic of its minting story. In the world of coin collecting, condition reigns supreme, and grading is the language of value. Organizations like PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company, hold the power to elevate an ordinary coin into the realm of legend. When a Texas state quarter is submitted to these institutions and returns with a grade of Mint State 69 or Mint State 70, its journey takes a breathtaking turn. It becomes a gem, a symbol of absolute perfection in metal, and when combined with rarity or error, its worth skyrockets. Imagine a collector at a coin show, surrounded by hundreds of dealers, under bright white lights that reflect off silver and copper. He holds a Texas quarter sealed in a transparent slab, its label reading MS70 PCGS. No contact marks, full strike, and deep luster. The whispers spread. The crowd gathers, and as the story of its rarity unfolds, the bids climb higher, the gavel drops, and a small coin that once passed through countless hands now stands as one of the most valuable pieces of the modern state quarter era. But what makes this coin so fascinating is not just its design or its condition. It is its story, the story of Texas itself, the spirit of freedom, the history of independence, and the pride that echoes in every Texan heart. The coin's lone star is more than a symbol. It is a reminder of courage, resilience, and identity. Each detail meticulously engraved, each curve capturing the essence of the state's character. To understand its numismatic allure, one must know that in 2004, production variations occurred between mints. Minor die errors appeared in certain batches, resulting in slight shifts, die fatigue, or doubling. Some coins revealed faint extra outlines on the state's borders, or subtle ghost images from die clashes, and collectors who found them knew they held something exceptional. The kind of coin that auctioneers and grading houses would later immortalize in catalogs and price guides. When we trace the journey of such a coin, it often begins in humble places, found in pocket change, a forgotten roll of quarters, or an inherited collection from a relative who once saved it for its beauty. Stories of discovery fill the coin forums. A teacher finds one while sorting lunch money. A veteran discovers another while cleaning out a coin jar. And in that moment, history and fortune meet. The value of a rare Texas quarter also depends heavily on its preservation. Coins stored properly in air. Tight holders or capsules maintain their mint luster longer. Avoiding tarnish and scratches, temperature and humidity can affect metal surfaces. So collectors often invest in archival quality materials and desiccants to protect their treasures. Because every hairline mark, every speck of dust, can alter the grading outcome. And grading, as every numismatist knows, defines destiny. So how does one know if their 2004 Texas quarter could be the next million-dollar treasure? The process begins with careful inspection under magnification. Check for any doubling on the letters of liberty, United States of America, or a pluribus unum. Look closely at the outline of Texas, at the rope design, and at the lone star. Error varieties often hide in those intricate details. Next, compare with verified examples from PCGS or NGC databases. If you suspect an anomaly, submit your coin for professional evaluation. The grading fee may seem small compared to the potential reward, and when the results arrive sealed in a certified slab with the grade and error designation, the story becomes real, once verified. Selling becomes a question of timing and platform. Never rush to sell such a treasure at a local pawn shop or random buyer. Because professional collectors, auction houses, and high-end dealers understand the true worth of certified coins. Platforms like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers Galleries, and great collections are respected names in the field. Hosting events where numismatic history is made, online listings with detailed photos and certification numbers can also reach global audiences. And some collectors even choose to display their coins at national coin shows before parting with them, allowing the excitement and bidding energy to grow. And for those just beginning, this story serves as a reminder that even today, hidden among your change, your coin rolls, or the drawer you forgot to check, there may lie a piece of history waiting to change your life. The 2004 Texas State Quarter stands as proof that value is often hidden in plain sight. Wrapped in the legacy of a state known for independence and pride, many people overlook the importance of coin preservation. Yet those who take care to store coins in proper holders, to handle them by the edges only to avoid fingerprints, are the ones who find their patience rewarded when the time comes for grading. For a coin in mint condition can leap from a few dollars to millions based purely on condition. In the community of collectors, stories of discovery continue to inspire. One collector in Houston recalls how he found a Texas quarter with doubling on the rope border, sent it for grading, and watched its value soar. Another in Dallas discovered a proof version with a unique mint frosting error. Its contrast between mirrored fields and frosted devices so unusual that grading services listed it as one of the rarest examples of its kind. Each story reminding us that fortune favors those who look closer. Numismatics is not just about money. It is about legacy, the thrill of research, the connection to history, and the sense of belonging to a community that values precision and preservation. And as your channel World Rare Coin continues to grow, every viewer who listens to this story joins that journey, learning to see beauty in detail and history in metal as you hold the Texas Quarter in your hand. Feel the pride of its creation, the artistry of the mint, the precision of its engravers, and the decades of American craftsmanship it represents. It is more than a coin, it is a time capsule, a storyteller, and perhaps a key to fortune. And now, as this chapter closes, let the curiosity build. Because the next story takes us deep into the wilderness of Louisiana, where nature meets artistry, where a coin tells the tale of forests, freedom, and flight. Stay tuned for the next part. The 2015 Kisachi National Forest Quarter, a coin whose rare variations and pristine examples have stunned even the most seasoned collectors. So before you go, make sure to like this video if this story of the Texas State Quarter has inspired you. Comment below if you've ever found a Texas quarter in your change or collection, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, where every week we uncover the hidden value behind America's most ordinary-looking treasures. Share this video with your friends because somewhere, someone may be holding the next million-dollar quarter without even knowing it. In the heart of Louisiana, where the whispers of pine trees dance with the southern wind, there lies a forest older than memory, a place where nature breathes and history lingers. And from this land of mystery and majesty came a coin unlike any other. The 2015 Kisachi National Forest Quarter, a shining tribute to the wild beauty of the American South, a coin that captures the spirit of flight, the grace of wilderness, and the wonder of discovery, minted as part of the America, the Beautiful series. This quarter became more than currency. It became a symbol of nature's endurance and America's artistry. Its design speaks softly yet powerfully on the reverse. A wild turkey soars above the pines, wings outstretched in eternal motion, freedom. Frozen in metal, the inscription reads, Kisachi, Louisiana, 2015. A pluribus unum. A simple message, yet an everlasting reminder that beauty often hides in simplicity. On the obverse stands the dignified portrait of George Washington, steady and proud, a guardian of America's currency for generations together. These designs create harmony between history and nature, between humanity and wilderness, but among the millions struck in 2015, a few coins were born different. The dies struck them with microscopic variances. the metal pressed imperfectly or the plancher slightly off-centered, and in that moment, rarity was born for. In numismatics, perfection and imperfection both create legends, and the Kisachi Quarter became one of those quiet legends, a coin that now commands attention from collectors around the world. A coin whose rare variations and pristine examples have reached values as high as $15 million, a number that sounds mythical, yet in the world of graded rarity, it is reality. Imagine holding one in your hand. The shine untouched, the surface's mirror bright, the edges sharp as the day it left the mint, the weight perfectly balanced at 5.67 grams, the thickness near 1.75 millimeters, the diameter, a flawless 24.26 millimeters each measurement, a testament to precision, each detail carved by master engravers. The reeded edge glimmers with craftsmanship, yet beneath its ordinary appearance lies a hidden story of scarcity and desire. To understand the power of this coin, we must journey into the art of grading, where experts transform metal into legend, where numbers define destiny. PCGS and NGC. The titans of coin grading use the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70 and a Kisachi quarter graded mint, state 69 or 70, especially with a unique die feature, becomes an icon. Collectors call it the Louisiana miracle because finding one in such flawless preservation feels almost impossible. The luster deep and even the strike full, the fields free from contact marks. Such coins are the lifeblood of auctions, the heartbeat of collectors, the dream of every numismatist. In the realm of coin collecting, condition is the key that unlocks fortune. Coins that have been handled less, stored carefully, and never circulated maintain their brilliance. These are called mint state coins, and within this small category lies the potential for greatness. But when a coin also bears a mint error, like a doubled die or off-center strike, its rarity multiplies and its story grows more powerful. The Kisachi quarter, with its bird-in-flight design, sometimes exhibits light doubling around the wings, or on the lettering of Louisiana or E pluribus unum. These rare traits are what make collectors stop mid-breath, their eyes wide, their minds racing with the possibility that they might be holding one of the rarest modern quarters ever struck. The Philadelphia and Denver mints both produced the 2015 Kisachi quarters. The P and D mint marks etched beneath the inscription United States of America, while San Francisco released the proof versions marked with an S. The proofs, crafted for collectors, shine with mirrored fields and frosted details, their beauty mesmerizing. Yet among even these perfect proofs lies the chance of imperfection. A frosting flaw, a die polish line, a small difference that transforms a common proof into an irreplaceable gem picture. The moment a collector discovers one, perhaps at a flea market in Baton Rouge, a small box of coins priced at $1 each, the collector sifts through them absent-mindedly until a flash of light catches his eye. The wings of the turkey shimmer differently, the detail sharper, the fields cleaner. He feels something unusual about it. He takes it home, studies it under magnification, and his heart begins to race. The doubling is real, the luster untouched. He sends it to PCGS, weeks pass, and then the results arrive. Mint state 70, double die reverse, authenticated, verified, preserved. The market whispers begin, and soon the coin headlines an auction, where its price defies belief, $15 million for a quarter that once lay forgotten among pocket change, a testament to patience, knowledge, and the timeless magic of numismatics in this world of collectors and dreamers. The Kisachi quarter stands tall as a lesson to all that beauty and value often hide in the smallest details, and that the study of coins is a study of history, art, and luck intertwined. The forests of Louisiana breathe through this coin, every feather, every leaf carved with reverence, every curve a reminder of America's natural majesty. and in that artistry lies meaning. But how can someone begin their own journey toward finding or identifying such treasures? The path starts with awareness. Learn to look beyond shine and surface. Examine the smallest features. The letters, the mint marks, the edges. Sometimes a rare coin reveals itself in subtle thickness differences or in the way light reflects off the relief. Compare your coin with verified examples from PCGS or NGC archives. Look for any inconsistency. And if you sense something unique, trust your instincts and submit it for grading, because grading is not just about assigning numbers. It is about preserving stories. Once a coin is graded, it becomes immortal, sealed in an acrylic holder, its identity confirmed forever. And when the time comes to sell, patience becomes your greatest ally. The right place defines the right price. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, and great collections stand as the trusted stages for legendary sales. These are the places where collectors gather not for mere exchange, but for history. Every auction filled with anticipation, hearts racing as bids climb higher for the chance to own what few have ever seen. If you choose to sell privately, ensure your coin carries its certification. Always provide high-quality photos and share its grading documentation. Authenticity builds trust, and trust builds value for those new to coin collecting. The Kisachi story is an invitation to look deeper into your change jar, into rolls from the bank, into the forgotten drawers, where old coins sleep for decades each. Coin has a tale, and sometimes the most unassuming pieces hold life-changing potential. A reminder that knowledge turns curiosity into discovery, and discovery into reward. The Kisachi National Forest Quarter also teaches another truth, that numismatics is not merely about wealth, but about connection. Every coin connects us to a moment in time, to the mint workers who crafted it, to the designers who envisioned it, to the generations who used it before us. It is a living timeline pressed into metal, a symbol of continuity and identity. The wild turkey in flight embodies the freedom of the American spirit forever, soaring through history, forever reminding us that greatness often starts small. In the quiet world of coin collecting, stories of miracles are written every day, and your story could be next. The Kisachi Quarter shows us that patience, curiosity, and respect for detail can uncover unimaginable treasures. So the next time you hold a quarter in your hand, pause for a moment, study it, look for its secrets. It may be a messenger from history waiting to reveal its worth. And as the story draws toward its close, let the emotions sink in. This journey through Indiana, Texas, and now Louisiana has not been just about coins. It has been about discovering the hidden within the ordinary, about finding light where most people see none, about realizing that history, wealth, and art live quietly in the palms of those who pay attention. So to every viewer listening, now if this story has awakened your curiosity, if your heart beats faster at the thought of discovery, then let this be your sign to start your search, to look closer at every coin, to learn the language of rarity, to understand the power of grading, and to believe that hidden fortune is real because it is waiting in plain sight, waiting for those who care to look. Before we part, make sure to like this video so that more collectors can join our journey. Comment below if you have ever found a 2015 Kisachi Quarter or any rare coin in your change. Share your stories, because your story might inspire another discovery. And most importantly, subscribe to World Rare Coin, because our journey is far from over. Every week we explore the treasures that history hides in metal, the coins that changed lives, the pieces that turned pocket change into legacy and wealth. So stay with us, because the next video may unveil another secret from America's past, another coin that carries the heartbeat of a nation, another story that reminds us that fortune and history often come in the smallest packages. So hold on tight, stay curious, and remember, every coin has a story, and yours might just be the next legend of the numismatic world.